Good morning and welcome to day one, the second game slot of the Victorian Ultimate Championship and the qualification bracket for the Australian Ultimate Championships. My name is Andy Moroney and we are in Bendigo for the second game. We are watching Melbourne Colossus taking on Albury Wodonga Ultimate Frisbee, and I'm joined by Daisy Medic for this second game. Daisy, how you going? Must be good to be in Bendigo. What are you looking forward to?
Hey Moz, thanks. Yeah, really looking forward to it today. Just looking forward to seeing wide range of Frisbee and seeing how everyone handles the wind. It's a little bit windy today, so looking forward to it.
Yeah, as you mentioned, there is a little bit of wind at play. It is, as you're looking at the screen now, a left to right. So you see Albury Wodonga's leadership talking it over, maybe their O&D lines. We did see it in the previous game, which Ellipsis Pilcrow prevailed over Zesty Chili by quite a margin, and the difference was putting an upwind break. So I think, Daisy, we're going to see, the difference in throwers, who's going to be brave enough to take on some of those upwind throws and who can keep the disc low enough so it doesn't pop up and turn into a pack grab or go out the back of the side.
Yeah, it's really impressive when people can throw a really nice upwind or downwind throw. Downwind throws can actually be harder to catch as well, from my experience. So I'm looking forward to it.
And you can hear that wind picking up in our in our mics. So we're not making it up. But I think the weather, look, we're not going to bang on about it too much, but I probably will. We are in for a very challenging day. It's already sitting at 27 degrees in the centigrade. Going to get up to 35. I think maybe a little bit north of that because we are in the greater city of Bendigo, who are also one of our event sponsors. So a big thanks to the City of Greater Bendigo. It is a road trip destination. Got a growing art scene. I know you're big into that. You've got your dancing and things like that. So I don't know if you can book a gig in Bendigo, but I think they'd be happy to have you.
Lovely galleries and things too. Yeah.
Are there?
Yep.
Okay, I'm not that classy. Probably more. I'm more at the pub. I'm actually more at. You know what we've got on March 14th and 15th days? We've got Meat Stock, which is a barbecue festival held in Bendigo, with also a lineup of country and rock music. So that's probably a bit more my.
Nice.
My vibe. And if you're not into either of those, then we've got the Winemakers Festival on April 5th. So something for everyone up in the city of Greater Bendigo. So Albury Wodonga having a final chat, a lot of good vibes. Melbourne Colossus, part of the Heads of State Club, the third men's team to go along with their women's team as well. This one a bit more of a development team. Aided by some older heads. Nick Netcher I can see there, been in the HOS system for quite a while. And Albury Wodonga, really impressive kind of independent unit, I guess you'd call it. Obviously out of regional Victoria. They've been here a couple of years. Led by Alan Fuzzard, 00. Keep an eye open for him. You can't miss him. He's the nude nut with a pink headband. Fair bit of ink. He's a rough-looking guy, Daisy, but he's absolutely lovely, can confirm. I was a little bit intimidated by him. First time I saw him a couple of years ago, but no. Like most of these Albury players, lovely people. So I think we're in for a good show. It'll be interesting to see. I think both these teams pretty evenly matched.
Yeah, looking forward to it, Moz.
All right, so head to start. Melbourne Colossus will be pulling. They are pulling downwind.
Do you have any views on how they might start the play today?
Look, if the last game was anything to go by, I think we are going to see a fair bit of zone, junk, and maybe even some huck and zone. So this is a really nice deep pull coming in fast, and it's going to roll to the back of the end zone. It'll be my man, the Fuzzard picking it up. A really challenging spot. Heads of State down on there on the first pass. Albury Wodonga running a little bit of give go. Always impressive to see. Players getting hands on the disc early on, working out any nerves. The over-the-top works. Zachary Smith back to Fuzzard. Fuzzard wants an inside break. Doesn't have it, has to dump it off. Nice early patience from Albury Wodonga. Buzzard, every second pass at the moment.
Looks like they've got a 2-3-2 set up there. Just need to be careful down the middle with those.
Yeah, as you say, Daisy, they are clogging that inside space really well as we see a little bit of a collision. Zach Reed was going up the line. Bowie Min with the collision. And tap it in. Buzz gets it off. Buzzard really wanting this inside flick break, but his pop is just not there for him just yet. So they've got to keep this patience as we see the first long shot go. And that's the first tee of the match.
That was good pressure from Colossus. Those three in the middle there really put the pressure on for that long throw. Stop the popping coming through. Oh.
Wodonga will get another shot at it. Buzzard fakes the big backhand. Counts at 5. Smith. Oh. Nicely taken.
Work, boys, work!
Now Zach Reed. And now Heads of State will have another crack at it. Their second look to put the first downwind break in. Stack a little bit deeper. They get one off the front to Boy. Nice coverage from Albury Wodonga. Shut down the early cut. Nick Netcher. Nice, huge grab.
That was impressive.
Christian Slabbert getting up high early on in the game. And another high disc, but once again, Melbourne Colossus able to get their turn. They'll have a third shot at it now. Players needing to cycle downfield, gets it back to Boland. And this one too much. Fuzzy had his tongue out. A little bit of Warney style about it.
Oh, bad luck.
So both teams maybe just rushing it a tiny bit. They maybe just a few early nerves, especially when you're on the showcase field. Probably just trying to do a little bit too much.
Yeah. Oh, nice put. That was a good look from Colossus there for a goal.
That was Rowan Pant with a rush of blood to the head. Took the catch under pressure and thought, right, I want to get rid of this. But it was a nice, as you say, Daisy, nice flat backhand. And Melbourne Ellipsis are able to put the first break on the board. Needed a couple of cracks at it. Did I say Melbourne Colossus or Melbourne Ellipsis?
Yeah, I think you said Ellipsis, but I think everyone knew what you meant.
You know, I'd get in a lot of trouble with some people if I made that.
If you said they're on the different team.
I don't know who'd be more insulted, but anyway. Melbourne Colossus. Two big Melbourne teams.
Two big Melbourne teams. Yeah, that was Colossus seemed to really, that was a really calm, good backhand, like you said, to get that goal. That point was a little bit panicked from both teams, but it seems like Colossus might be settling in a little bit.
Riley Gurry catching the goal. And that first point, already 8 minutes for that first point. These games going to 70 minutes. And I'd say, Daisy, in this win, we are going to see some longer points, some more, some challenges for the 7 players out there on the field. So, and especially in these conditions, you're going to want a big sideline. You're going to want to cycle through your players because this weekend does take a toll. It's not just about this game, but it's about how you're going to use your entire roster throughout the weekend. Yeah.
Exactly. And the heat too, like you've mentioned. A lot of running. So you want to make sure your passes, they're completed, which is tough in the wind.
Yeah, like you said, both ways. It's hard throwing upwind, but also those downwinders, especially once legs get tired, they're just going to float. So
nice pull, upwind.
Colossus just short of their brick mark. It'll be Ryan Leaney with the disc. And Colossus now throwing a bit of a zone, a really aggressive 1-3-2-1. They need to retreat a little bit of ground, but they're comfortable to at the moment. Leaney looks the inside. Great grab.
I'm liking Albury Wodonga's hats. There's a few different colours. I like the blue one as well.
It's looking a little bit smoother now. No high counts. Able to be set from the Colossus D. Patient offense. Anderson moves around. Kramer can't take it. It's cleaned up by Pearce.
Ooh,
goes inside.
nice
that one's cleaned up. And my man Kramer.
That was a really nice grab. Arm reaching out. Smooth passes all the way down. Lots of nice grabs on the ground, reaching forward. There's one. There's the next one. And then running on for goal. And who caught that goal was?
Kramer.
That was Kramer. Really nice grab.
And if I get through this entire game without making some kind of Seinfeld reference, I think we'll all be better for it, but I'm sure it's not the first time he's heard it and not the last. So the thing I like about when I watch Albury Wodonga is because teams in Melbourne, they play part of the system, players change teams, so it's not like they become gentrified, but you see a lot of the similar kind of structures and warm-ups and offenses and defenses. You don't see that with Albury Wodonga. They kind of just ride the lightning a little bit. We saw 3 or 4 throws there that they could have been turnovers, but they're happy to just ride their hand and go for it, exactly. So that's what I think makes them a bit exciting to watch, is that they're not from that standard, Div 1 ultimate mould. They're here to have fun. They're here to use all their plays. They're not going to kind of shut anyone down. So it makes it good watching.
Yeah, and it's harder to play against if you can't predict, the usual plays.
Yeah.
So it's not a bad. It's a good thing.
So we're one apiece. All scores downwind so far. And we're going to see a brick, that one going out the side. So those new to the game, if the disc lands out of bounds on the pool, the players have the option of either taking it from where it went out on the sideline or moving it to what they call the brick mark. There are 2 of those on the field, about 15, 20 metres up from the end zone. You've got a big blue X that Rex is showing there. And they get to tap it in from there. So, Jaime still rocking that Richmond Tigers hat.
Oh, it's Richmond.
Yeah, it was cool 3 years ago, Jaime. You're the wooden spooners now.
Go
As we see
Tigers.
a nice deep one go. And there were some wheels there, but couldn't get to it. And now we're going to see Albury Wodonga's upwind offense. Jugger in a, Colossus, I'll call them the right team eventually. Colossus in a match. Wodonga playing, it looks like a vert. It's a little bit sloppy.
Oh, good grab.
Great throw off the front. This is more of that boldness that we're seeing, Daisy.
Yeah.
Just throw upwind and someone catch it.
I like it. Oh. And if you're going, look, it is good to kind of be aggressive on offense, because if you're going to turn it over in these conditions, you'd rather turn it over down the field.
Yeah. So we see a nice D from Paxi. Managed also to avoid contact with our camera gear as well as ourselves. Thank you. Jaime. Goes the backhand, but miscommunication off the front of the stack. So Albury Wodonga will again get a chance to put the first upwinder of the game in. Bakes with it. Moves it up. Nice throw to the other Baker. So they've got it about the halfway point now. One dump goes, the other they retreat a little bit. Gets a penny. Nice upwind gainer. Almost at their own brick mark. Not looking at their dumps a heap, Daisy. This one
There we go. Well, not quite a dump, but yeah.
Penny gets up to Bakes. So this looking a little smoother.
Oh, good save.
Albury Wodonga starting to get their dump set a little bit more settled now, but looking really late in the count. This one goes off the front of the stack, can't be reeled in. And if you're Colossus, I don't know how much you want it down this end. You don't want to throw it away needlessly, but you definitely want, and that's going to be a travel. What would you do right now, Daisy, if you had the disc out there at the moment?
It's tough. I would like a long throw. I would like someone to cut deep and just go for it long.
Yeah.
But I think having a few options, if I was in the stack, I'd still cut really hard under as options as well.
Yeah.
As an option.
Yeah, you don't want to give a cheap turnover, and at the same time, you've probably got to be a little bit more flexible going. It might not be the perfect option, but it also helps give us field position.
Yeah, exactly.
No need on that one. That one's a really nice in, and then this one
Just
goes
like
deep.
that. Yes, that's what I would have done was.
That's what you would have done.
Exactly that.
You would have thrown the goal to Angus Carson running on to a perfect throw.
That was so nice.
Carson with the goal.
So,
And a really nice cut off the back there. That was Benjamin Ridge. Just noticing that his defender wasn't standing on the correct side, wasn't on the open side of him, so gave that easy first under. They weren't able to set that break either, so that's why you saw the break flick go up.
and nicely weighted in the wind,
yeah.
not kind of pushing down. So it did make that, it was a really nice throw outside in, nicely weighted so it didn't push into the ground. Not into the wind, downwind. You know what I mean? Yep.
One of the two.
Yeah.
Hey, look, I can't even call the team names right. Oh, you're fine. You're well ahead of me, mate. Don't worry. So it is a downwind game so far. 2-1, Melbourne Colossus with their noses in front. But I think it's been really impressive to see both teams, particularly Albury Wodonga, are able to work it up. You know, they worked it up from probably the defending brick mark up to the attacking one. So I think we will see an upwind. It's just a matter of when, but when we do see it, that's going to be a massive point in the context of the game.
Yeah, I agree. They brought it up really calmly, so it'll be interesting to see how the teams respond and how they can attack upwind.
Albury Wodonga's turn now. Colossus again running a super aggressive zone. They've got maybe 5 around the disc, so Fuzz puts it. It was the right call, just the wrong execution. Not able to connect with Slabbit, who, given his, what would he be about 6'2", 6'3"?
Really
probably makes
tall.
sense that he's one of your primary looks deep. Colossus opting to go for territory a bit.
It did look like Colossus had a few players down that end though as well, in preparation for those long hugs.
The dump goes up the line. That's textbook up the line. Managed to get it both upfield as well as starting to centre the disc. So that's how you do it if you're watching at home. That's how you execute an up the line swing. They can't keep the good times rolling. Nick Netcho will take the mark. It'll be Jared Linder going to the disc. They're about 15 metres out from their own end zone line.
Good grab.
Great grab towing it in. Nice throw too. Goes to Fuzzard. Has options, manages to find the gap, and I think that's my man Slabbit.
That was a good look. Good play around the 2-3-2 to find the gap. There were about 5 players there, so that was a really good find.
Agreed, nice vision, and apologies, that's Zachary Smith. I'm getting my tall boys mixed up. It is a tall team. Actually, when you take a look, they do have a few players that are 6 foot, slightly over. And as we watch here, like you said, Daisy, there's nice vision. A lot of players around the disc, but maybe the Colossus team just stuck what we call disc watching a little bit. So they're looking straight at the player with the Frisbee, not necessarily looking at the spacing, which is really important when you play a zone because it's as much about where your teammates are and your opponents are, probably more so than where the disc is. So that's probably one adjustment Colossus would want to make on their defensive zone. And you call it off this play. Maybe a little bit on the line, but I reckon it was close enough. I won't call it if they won't. Did his best to tow it in, we'll put it that way. Great angle from Rex and the ULTI.TV team. And I was back in this wind to drop off a little bit. If anything, it's probably doing the opposite. So has made that upwinder all the more crucial.
Yeah, low scoring 2-all for 19, nearly 20 minutes.
So see, this one will roll out the side. Be Thomas Hine picking up. It looks like Colossus running out of a vert, and Hine doesn't put it.
Oh, good grab.
Great grab. Yo keeps it alive. Back to Hine. Hine sees something he likes, and it's Emilia Tony.
Yes, go Mary. That was a really nice throw. Colossus were really moving up the field. Really, lots of cuts, lots of options. They moved that really nicely.
Probably the best throw and cut we've seen so far in this game today. Hine getting it in flow, has slight power position, uses the around, and a perfect, well-timed cut from Mary Tony, running onto it, not breaking stride. Enough separation, probably 4 or 5 metres separation on her player.
And having a look back just before that goal, all the Colossus players were moving. There was a lot of movement, which kind of freed up space for other people. And then Mary took a really nice catch.
Mary and her sister Emilia, long time involvement in Heads of State. Bit of a Frisbee family evolving now.
Oh, did you say Emilia caught the goal? Is that what I heard?
Thought I got away with that one. Yeah, now I'm not going to be popular with ellipsis or the Tony family, or the McDonald family probably, yeah. Yeah, I thought I got away with that one. Is Mary still up in Ballarat, do you know?
I'm not sure, no. I played some social Frisbee with Mary for a while. She's a really good player.
Did you play on any rep teams together?
No. No.
Social league's more fun anyway. So this time we see a bit of a flick pull, bit of a roller.
Oh, that's a good option.
It's as good as option as any. We haven't seen too many pulls actually make the brick mark upwind, and this one has. So, and it's from the sideline. So let's see if there can be some early pressure on Ryan Leaney from Melbourne Colossus. Leaney, perfect flat backhand. This one's sailing.
Very good defense from Colossus, number 27.
Riley Gurry. Got a D now to go along with his goal. I've got to say, Daisy, I like the put out of the hand, nice and flat.
Really nice.
Using the wind to carry, but Riley reading it better than his opponent.
Yeah, it's a really good look, but really good defense and clean defense as well.
And to our point earlier, you don't want to throw it away for nothing, but that's a good
option.
60-40 option.
Yeah. Yep.
Riley just with the better read, and you're now daring Colossus to work it upwind and do a better job. Running one off the stack, Nick Netcher, veteran of the team. Doesn't look it, looks about 21. We'll get carded at the pub. And we're going to get a bit of a call here, a little bit of contact. No, waved away. Turn will stand. Albury Wodonga with a chance to put one in. Playing bravely as they do. Looks to the outside, my man Kramer. I believe it is. And Albury Wodonga tied up at 3-all.
Yeah, really open. So they were both open. Who's this? So 60. Yeah, that throw to whose that one was? We've got to Kramer then. Yeah, they were all really, really open. Got really good positions by Aubrey Wodonga.
Yeah, I think it's just part of that flow that we were talking about earlier. They just see a player hit a player. They're not worried of, are you the under? Are you the primary?
Yeah,
exactly.
You know, yep.
And I kind of like that. Sometimes it can be, the Frisbee can be a bit too clinical, if that makes sense. Like they're not playing on instinct. These guys play on pure instinct. Yeah, they've got some structures and things like that, but if they see an open player, they're just going to throw it. And that's what I guess makes these guys watchable, that they're not just running structures for the sake of structures.
Yep.
And they're using all 7 players on their team. So we've got a game, 3 apiece. And this one, another good pull, staying low, keeping it under the wind so it doesn't
pass the break.
Drift back, Heine. Nice up the wind to Pax. Pax sees one. Good read. Good read from both players. That's Jared Pearce getting up inside his opponent. And now Aubrey Wodonga with a real chance to put this one in. They can't. Hesitate, get the turn back.
Good defense from 26.
Pax. Carson. Nice bid. And this one, nice flat flick, but no one there. Throw looked good out of the hand.
Just didn't come back. If it just came back a little bit, that would have been perfect, because 26 had the height.
Find your spot, wander back to your position. In your line. Let's go, Colossus! Get it back now!
And this is where you see players, things slowing up a little bit. Players starting to walk to the disc, not necessarily going with what we call the run and gun offense, where you start playing offense as soon as you get the turn.
And the risk is that no one moves, so hopefully you still want to keep that movement up, because then it just makes it a lot harder, especially going upwind.
You never look silly walking to it. You give you a chance, every chance to look like a fool if you run and gun and there's no one around you. Lovely initial cut off the Horo. Generates the movement early.
Great catch, great throw.
Kramer moves it back. Really working the unders here. So Colossus need to adjust and mark the unders, because Aubrey Wodonga are finding it far too easy, especially he's looking for the break again. He gets it. Nice inside break. Ryan Leaney is getting anything he wants out there, directing the traffic. Nice low throws. Jared Pearce back to Leaney. Leaney again looks for that inside flick. They've got to stop that inside flick, because right now he's, as I said, getting anything he wants. And we're going to see a contested stall. Oh, sorry, a stall. So for those unfamiliar, players have 10 seconds to release the disc. That 10 seconds counted by the direct opponent. They get to 10 to stall out, but if they don't agree, it'll come back in stalling 8, I think. Is that right? You're the rules guru.
I'll have to come back to you on that one.
Okay. I've got no idea. As we see the upwind shot go in, and it's going to work.
Well done. First upwind goal. There were some really nice throws upwind.
The final one needed a little bit of luck, but they made their own luck.
And it was nice how they threw across the field. So across the wind can be hard, because it can just blow back behind you. So the little pop-up throws as well. Just being really patient as they move the disc. Well done, Aubrey Wodonga, for the first upwind goal.
Yeah, it was great patience. As we said, a little bit of luck went their way, but you've got to stay down, you've got to be there to grab it. And we were saying that it was only a matter of time before there was an upwind, and it's Aubrey Wodonga who have struck first.
Yeah, so they'll want to capitalise on that. And make sure they hold on to all of their downwind points going forward.
Yeah, I think the complexion of the game changes a bit now, where you don't want to get complacent, but if you're Aubrey Wodonga, you do take a breath. You go, great, we got that. Now the pressure's off us. Conversely, it moves to Melbourne Colossus. Colossus need to focus on their offense, but what I would say about their defense is Ryan Leaney was probably best on that point, had all those inside flicks, and when you're a cutter downfield, just knowing that you can get it upwind or break side or open side, makes it so much easier to cut, and conversely so much harder to defend. So they probably want to make that adjustment the next time Leaney's on, certainly if he's going upwind.
Yeah, I agree. Leaney was really pivotal to that disc movement, that point.
So can Colossus put the pressure right back on Albury Wodonga by scoring their first up window of the game? Pull stays low. Heine, a little bit of slips catch action, gets the boot to it. It rolls back and the stack hasn't adjusted, so they're not going to get that first pass off. And Albury Wodonga straight away into their zone look, able to put pressure on the Melbourne Colossus O-line. They find a little bit of flow through. It was Carson. Paxson winds up the backhand, doesn't throw. Ridge. Nice popping from Ridge, keeping engaged with the disc. Goes to Paxson, goes to Carson. Hine at the brick mark. Looking through. So Heads of State are running, Melbourne Colossus are running some poppers through the cup, which is nice. Probably just need a little bit more activity around the disc. Right now it is a little bit stagnant. Good pop, not on it. Push pass. And they go over the top, but it doesn't come off. And Albury Wodonga have an excellent chance. That one's a nightmare, not his fault at all.
Those popped up in the wind there, which shows how hard it is to pass cross field.
Yeah, that's, we talked about fortunate luck down there. That was just bad luck there. That's just bobbling in the wind. Nothing either player could do about it. It wasn't the thrower's fault, certainly not the receiver's fault. Thomas Hine now gets a second chance. And it looks a bit more like a match now from Albury Wodonga. They've moved out of their zone. Interesting spike back infield. Not what I would have done, but it worked.
Good pressure from Albury Wodonga.
They've got a poach player. Uses him now. That was Penny.
So Colossus looks like they've moved to match as well.
Tony.
Mary's open.
Hine with the give go. Goes around to Tony. That one had too much angle on it.
Bladey, yep. It's interesting teams have moved to match rather than
half,
zone. Yeah. Oh.
Adam Weiss went long, but the throw just getting caught up in his thumb a little bit there. You can see him doing the action replay.
That's definitely happened to me before.
Happens to me every time I go for a throw these days. Throw it at a 90-degree angle if I'm lucky. So Thomas Hine, who's playing a bit as the axis of this offense, you can see him kind of running and gunning. Oh, sorry, throwing and going. And as you said, Daisy, it looks like they're now back into that junk look. So they're happy to play it in the attacking half, not necessarily their defending half.
It almost looks like an arrowhead.
Yep. Colossus getting a little bit more flow, but they just want to keep your poppers engaged. You never want to see poppers turn their back on the play. Ridge.
And that's a good look. Good look. Well done. Nice grab by Mary.
And Mary Tony with her second long grab of the game.
That was good patience. She had number 26 defending in front of her, but she had a really tall player in front of her, and she was just really patient and grabbed that really calmly.
Yeah, that one all came down to the read. Out of the hand, turning over really quickly.
Oh, that was just missed by the defender there. That would have been only a few centimetres. Colossus moved it really nicely through the centre. Broke a little bit of Aubrey Wodonga's arrowhead. Once the arrowhead's broken, it's easy to move down the middle of the field. Really nice grab by Mary. So back to 4-all. Colossus now got their first upwind point. So this game's not sure which way we'll go at this point.
No, it's great. We said at the beginning of that point that, you know, the pressure was back on Colossus to respond and show that they could put an upwinder in. And I think, you know, it makes the game that much more exciting that we know now both teams are capable of putting the upwinders in. They've got the throwers, whether it's Leany in kind of his breaks or Colossus showing a bit more of their long game, willing to huck it. So let's see if we can go for 3 in a row. Back to you, Aubrey Wodonga. Zachary Smith and Fazard working together. Fazard has to look at it, stares at it, manages to reel it in. Linda over to Reed. So they're already at the halfway mark. Linda spent it before he had it, knows it as well.
Yeah, you don't want to give Colossus a downwind go at a goal right now when they've just come off an upwind point. Oh.
Heads of State not able to capitalise.
That was a really nice look through the centre of so many players. Good running from Aubrey Wodonga.
A little bit of air under this one, but Aubrey Wodonga I think there might be a strip call. There is, and I don't think it'll be contested. Zachary Smith using his height. Uncontested foul. Patience required from Aubrey Wodonga. They exercise it. Fazard moves it wide, using the give-go. So Fazard and Thomas Hine playing similar roles for respective teams. Has a little bit of that access, looking for every second pass. Safe pair of hands. You'd probably say Aubrey Wodonga doing a little bit better at using all of their players. Happy to cycle everyone through. This is Leany. Goes the left hand, high release, no look. Double style points, but ultimately incomplete.
Yeah, that's a shame because they were looking really good.
No one
sure
knew
they'll
it
have
was
another
coming.
chance.
Yeah, including his teammate, which is probably the issue. Nice first throw. You see this one go deep. It looks like a good read. It'll work.
Good look and good catch.
Riley Gurry again. That's his second or third goal. He's been involved in Ds and goals. Clearly enjoys going deep. And so if you're Aubrey Wodonga, probably the adjustment you make on Gurry is force him back under. Sit deep of him, force him under, because right now he's happy to go downtown and take some grabs in the end zone. You see that separation there, almost best part of 10 metres. So especially going downwind where your teammate can put it with a bit of pace, you can't allow that much separation deep.
Yeah, it was really good cutting from Gurry.
So we're on serve, 4-5. Colossus with their noses in front.
can feel it starting to get very warm. I'm trying to find the shade myself, so the players will be feeling it out on the field.
Yeah, we are in for a very warm weekend. And that's why we're lucky to be sponsored by Super Boost, which is a sports drink that's high in electrolytes, low in sugar. It's actually owned by a team of athletes, including, I think it's Tom Phillips, ex-AFL player. So it's generated with the performance in mind. You can pick it up from 7-Eleven and Woolies. I dare say there might be a couple of slabs of it going around for the teams at the tournament today. I can see a lot of pointing down. The count getting a little bit high. Eventually going with the scuba. That's thrown perfectly into space. And this one's to Kramer. He's got the sit. He's got the goal.
Well done.
And Albury Wodonga in a 4-pass offense.
Very nice scuba and very nice catch. What a nice flow.
Generated by Ryan leaning off the start. He pointed like he was Babe Ruth. 3 or 4 times pointing deep and eventually then throwing the wide scuba. Like you say, Daisy, great. So we see Scuba throwing his play. It wasn't the perfect scuba, but threw his teammate into space. It's a 2-pass offense, beg your pardon.
Yeah, just really good reading of each other, the Albury Wodonga players. And yeah, it is hard to get a scuba right, and it was pretty close to being really perfect and allowed the Albury Wodonga player to run onto it.
Yeah, and like you said before, Colossus look like they're running two deep players back, and that throw actually kind of split the difference between them. And sometimes it's harder to play as 2 deeps rather than to play as 1. When you're the deep, you know it's all on you. Anything that goes long, that's your job. Sometimes when you're playing in a partnership, you kind of get the I thought you were going to, you know. And so that one, because it really split right down the middle, the left and right probably both thought the other person was going to get it. And exposed that space for Albury Wodonga to exploit. So perfect throw, perfect execution, nice thinking, and my main man Kramer with the goal.
Are you a big Seinfeld fan?
Oh, nerd. Absolute nerd. Like, watched every episode. We'll watch it multiple times. Like, the amount of self-control I'm using not to kind of make corny puns that will just get me kicked off the air. And another pool landing out on the sideline. So they're doing well, both teams, with the pools. Saw it as a real challenge in the first game. Most of the pools now making that attacking brick mark. Thomas Hine now looking, goes under. That one bouncing off, and Albury Wodonga now given a golden opportunity. They're going to be taking it past their brick mark. Pick called. So that'll go back. It affected the play. Wodonga set up in a vert.
Nice movement. Players clearing once they're not an option anymore.
My man. Kramer with it. This is Michael Kramer. I'm going to guess the brother of Joseph Kramer, also on the team. Great grab to keep the disc alive. That's Angus Penny getting horizontal. He's looking deep. He throws deep, but he can't throw past the poach in the lane.
Block. Good block from 26.
That's Benjamin Ridge getting the poach block. Thomas. Wheeler getting the D. Now. Very tense. They're just past halfway, looking to get the dump off. They do. They're riding their lightning now, taking their chances. They're going to stop, make sure everyone's okay. Yep. And it's in.
Nice throw.
Great gainer. Baker.
Oh, good run down the line from 77.
To Bakes. Bakes across field flick. This one bobbling off a number of players, incomplete. Colossus getting the first touch, but there was a second chance there. Can't capitalise. And Thomas Hine will take it. With Aubrey Wodonga once again setting up in the junk. This one's going to go deep because Ridge is out the back. Has the sit, has the height. All on the read.
Grab,
does it well. And he goes and puts one long into the end zone, but it's not going to make it. It's incomplete.
Perfect look, just a little bit short. Needed a little bit more on it, a little bit more float.
Edwin just out of reach. The read and the grab was nice. Had all the time in the world, just rushed it a tiny bit. And that gives Aubrey Wodonga another break look upwind. Stuck very deep for being upwind, but they managed to move it off the front of the stack. They do well. It's cleaned up. And this one now up high. Bounces out, second chance for Kramer. Can't do it, hit the deck first. So Thomas Hine and Aubrey Wodonga. It looks like Daisy are still setting up in that arrowhead, as you called earlier.
Yeah, it could work really well in the wind, but you just have to be careful that you don't have a gap in the middle and that players can work it through the middle.
Ridge now looks again, tries
there
again.
There we go.
Not successful.
Second time. Good look. That was a lot more, it kind of stayed up in the wind. It was really easy for, well, not easy, I shouldn't say that. It was a really nice catch. It was easier, yes, exactly. It's never easy to catch a goal.
And we see at the bottom of screen, Edwin Zhu. He's already escaped out the back. That's really good teamwork from both of those wings in the Colossus group, working together as a unit.
Yep.
The first one sucked the deep under, created that space out the back. Ridge clearly has that throw. We saw him throw it earlier in the point. It was just too far. This one, as you mentioned, Daisy, a lot more flattened out.
And if you do, when you're on the wing, you can do a lot of running, and you might not feel like you get the reward. But if you've played the game and you've worked with your other wing in the right way, then you make the space for your team, and that ended in a goal there, like you mentioned, Moz.
Yeah, it's the most probably underappreciated role. Where, as you say, you are doing the most amount of running.
Yep.
You're touching the disc the least.
Yep.
But you're probably having the most impact on the team because it becomes so much harder for all your teammates, whether they be handlers or poppers, if all of a sudden you've got 7 opponents around the disc. But you pull back, you pull 2 deeps back, all of a sudden the deep has to get out, and then even the wings has to get out.
Yep.
And that then gives the throwers the opportunity to throw inside the cup, through the cup, over the cup. So a thankless role, one I never really liked playing. I was always about the cheap touches, just get hands on the disc. Not really up for that, sacrificial lamb stuff, but you would have played as a bit of a deep back in the day.
On a wing, especially in mixed as a wing, because but yeah, deep in female when I was playing single-gendered frisbee.
So a bit of a shorter pull, so Aubrey Wodonga with a chance. They rush it a little bit. Linda unable to catch that one. Just a little bit rushed, a little bit keen to put the downwinder in. And now we'll see if Nick Netcher, the heads of state veteran.
That's a really nice grab. Oh,
that's up.
Is it right?
So we're going to work through a few things here. There might be an injury call or a down call. I reckon he's taken a bit of bark off. He has. Oofed.
Oh, yes.
Lovely green grounds here, but you hit them that hard, it doesn't matter how green they are. A little bit of claret coming off. Oh, and they need to wipe the disc, so a little bit of claret coming off onto the disc. I haven't seen that before.
No, I've seen it in netball.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, some blood on the ball. We've
really
had to get that off, but otherwise, no, not in frisbee. Maybe a little less contact than I've encountered in netball.
Well, yeah, and also netball, you got a bit of bitumen going on.
Yes. Yes,
this
that
is
as well.
A little bit more forgiving at least.
Unless you're on the AstroTurf, that can be a little bit less forgiving as well.
Oh, yeah, AstroTurf just.
Yeah.
Sponsored by the Band-Aid companies, the AstroTurf. Fazard taking the big backhand, waiting for the handlers to come up through the cup, which opens up this flow.
Oh, that's in.
And they
well
did
done.
it. They did it their own way. This is what
Yeah.
this team do. It doesn't look normal, dare I say, but gets the job done.
And they have a lot of very low throws, and they all come off.
Yep.
I
Which,
haven't seen
like you said in the wind, though, that's not a bad thing.
No, not at all.
Yes, so a very young, energetic Albury Wodonga team. But it is an all-ages sport, Daisy. Even old people like Steve Whelans, Sasha Humphries, still around playing, God knows why. Just, they're looking quite good. Still rolling around. An impressive Nick. You are. Absolutely not. No, I'm not running. I know my place now. Yeah. So we're at the 50-minute mark, 70-minute game. So score a little bit low, but like you said, Daisy, like because of this win, we are seeing longer points, multiple turns of point, and to be fair to both teams, a lot of pressure in those points as well. So
Yeah.
we're seeing, yes, some turnovers, but we're seeing a lot of Ds as well. So really evenly poised.
And they've kept their intensity up for the whole game as well. It hasn't seemed to drop off, which is really good.
No, that's a really good sign. Like I said before, not only for this game, but for the tournament. We're at 28 degrees now, so it's really going to start to heat up. Just see a little bit of breakdown from heads of state. They get away with it. But Melbourne Colossus had all run down, hadn't seen how deep the pool had got, which was one of the best probably pools of the game so far. But they've got it to their halfway mark. Ridge. Shooter.
Oh,
Lightning
very
sider.
close. And he kind of threw that mid-fall as well.
Yeah.
Oh, very close.
Just past. I'll have a word to the Melbourne Colossus players about what the white cones mean. Don't you worry, Rex. I think that's Patel there. Forgot his jersey and also forgot what the white cones mean. Come on, champ. Let's see him. Let's see him. There we go. There we go. So, damning footage, damning evidence right there. Have a word to your mate. And eventually sanity prevails. We clear the sideline. Rex has a shot of Albury Wodonga bringing it in from the cone. Joseph Kramer now.
Oh, good grab.
And Albury Wodonga right in their chances. It's Kramer number 2.
Well done.
And they score upwind.
It was impressive how quickly they kind of turned over. They nearly had the turn, but people didn't assume it was a turn. In Albury Wodonga, they just kept moving the disc down the field.
Spot on, they kept with it. To take half, that's a huge point. A huge point. They backed their teammates in. Like you said, there was a little bit of a tip or something from the Colossus tee, but they stuck with it. Firstly, we see this big sidearm just past, had the right kind of direction, just the wrong shape. And then we see
Just here, yes.
tipped.
And but the players just kept
Stuck
their
with it.
play and were ready and in a good position. It's tempting to think no turn and go back the other way.
And then from there, it was really open. As you see, Kramer, lovely
Yeah.
shot into deep space. I think that was Leany. And then Colossus really scrambling from that point on. And so, just before the main break, or to take the main break, it's Albury Wodonga. Their noses in front, 7-6. The game's super evenly poised. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with all the action of a very close second half right after this. Oh yeah, I do know that. You know.
No, you're really good at all the padding bits as well. Knowing the names, that's where I was like, oh shit, I don't know anyone.
That's how, like, and even just like I know. Feel free to take your time. Like, jump on the. Like, I've got the Colossus guys. I've got Hoss here, and these guys are here. So feel free to, like, if you see something from Rob and one of them, just look at the number. Is your little boy? No worries. Yeah, all my stuff's overheating, but apart from that,
you're right. So, or sometimes I just say they're not very good. So, is it possible to turn off the? It's not. I'm probably actually in the sun. That makes it hard. It's quite fun to watch, but I was saying the hard thing is the player numbers, like getting the player names and stuff. But yell out if I'm doing something wrong. And that's what I was saying I'm like, oh, you have your natural reaction.
That was so classic, you just like start
Yes. You can just say it with anything.
What's your involvement in
Yeah, I
got a little logo in between.
Amazing.
No worries. I'm not sure. I have something like
I can grab the Harley, but just thought I'd use it.
Kelly.
oh, nice.
Yeah.
All right.
I've got a fridge and fan. What do you need?
I'll just put the phones in there. Oh, another thing that you can do, especially if you're doing special games, if we don't interview anyone, just keep an eye and the ear open to what they say in the huddle.
Oh, okay, and then you can say, yeah. Give away some tactics.
Yeah.
I'm joking.
Yeah. Or even like the energy of it.
Yeah.
Or
I was joking. Yeah.
I think left was really good.
Welcome back to the second half as we see Melbourne Colossus do their best to put an early stamp on the second half. Try and recover that upwind break that they are now down due to some excellent upwind offense from Albury Wodonga. So they've got the disc now. Kramer moves it round. Leany, pivotal in that first half, throws the around break backhand. This one might sail out of bounds. It does.
That's a really tough throw to pull off.
Hugely difficult. As we see players just starting to walk now. Again, the heat just getting to them a little bit. What was really interesting to me, Daisy, was to hear both huddles talking about respective tactics, but there were also a lot of similarities where they were talking about using all their players, really backing each other in, you know, sticking and trusting through that, yeah, it's windy, there are going to be drops and things like that, but to continue using all players and playing for their mates was a consistent theme. As we see a big cross-field flick from Heine, too high. Goes out, goes from sideline to sideline.
And both teams are playing through all their players as well. A lot of movement, which is really interesting to watch.
Leany. Lovely flat flick.
Nice.
Love to see that.
Oh, well done. Really nice cut. Good timing. Good time. Well-timed throw.
This is what I love. See, look how happy they are. They're all getting around each other. Even heads of state sticking fat. All started from that really nice flick. Slight bit of inside. Gets it off the line ever so slightly. And after that, it's an easy little push pass in the goal.
Albury Wodonga have come back with some momentum. Two points ahead, but still close. Still a really evenly matched game.
So as we move into having 8 minutes left. Melbourne Colossus need to exert some pressure. Putting in this downwinder with minimal fuss and then make it all about a scrappy D game.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if Albury Wodonga play conservatively, but I doubt it. They seem to be really going for their shots, even while they're 2 points up, which is really good to see as well.
And so once we hit that points cap in now 7.5 minutes time, sorry, the time cap, we'll add one to the highest score and play to that. So if the previous 62 minutes have been anything to go by, Daisy, it's going to be a close one.
Yeah.
Hine with it. Has an easy inside,
Nice
takes
look.
it. Spotted that gap well, didn't he?
Yes.
Ridge. Been a bit fast and loose with his long throws. Opts for the safer option and then gets it back. Perfect popping, staying engaged with the disc. And they've already got it to their break mark with minimal risk. So they're into the red zone now. Ridge unmarked. Looks like they've transitioned. And that's a great point from Melbourne Colossus. A little bit of a defensive mix-up. It looked like, I reckon they were playing a transition because they definitely started in a zone. Most players went to then match, but Ridge found himself without a player. Always the risk when you run that transition. You can see him at the front of that imaginary stack.
Yeah, and they capitalised on it well. Colossus did. So, yeah, that is a risk when you switch defensive plays. And sometimes it is unclear, when do we switch, when do we don't. If you don't have a really clear call, that's when, it can get confusing.
So if you're Colossus, that's exactly what you wanted. Just a minimal fuss, minimal risk, no turn offense. Make this game all about defense. Try and exert some pressure on Albury Wodonga. He's thrown a couple of goals today, Ridge.
Yeah, good. Lots of everyone's had really clean hands in the goals too. Haven't really seen many goals dropped that weren't contested. Well, this is very close, very exciting.
Isn't it? Game 2, day 1, straight into it. Please stay tuned. We do have a game for you straight after this. The Geelong Mudlarks. As we see Nick Netcher taking the mark. Special shout out to Billy and Arlo as we see Albury Wodonga looking for the long grab, but it doesn't come off.
Well done, Colossus. That's a really important defensive play, putting Colossus in a position to even the scores.
Yeah, Big D. Nice contest, both players getting there cleanly.
Ryan's picking up the disc.
Early movement. Nice flow early. They've already got it to their halfway mark now, so heads of state, it's all about composure from here. Don't rush it. Lovely leading throw. Bobbles out.
Oh.
Fuzz has a look, throws the backhand. This time to the advantage, and this one bobbles out. So the wind playing tricks on both teams.
Slabbit nearly had that one. Oh, really close catch. Oh, I just dropped it.
And Slabbit, I think, is an emerging Frisbee family.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think there are a couple of them. I think their sister as well. So that's Christian Slabbit. Pretty sure their sister plays now for Chile, but was originally on this team.
Yeah, it seems to be once one family member starts, everyone gets involved with Frisbee.
Is that what happens, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Were you first or second?
I think, just second.
Just. Heads of state, get the high count. Managed to move it and reset, but they need to start hitting their dumps a little bit earlier. Otherwise, pressure creeps in, which makes throws like that much harder. Fuzzy. Doesn't engage the dump. A lot of players around the disc. It's really busy. High count. Lets it go on
Well
8.
done. Slabbit got the goal.
And that is Slabbit with the goal.
That was good composure then. A really good tight defense, and then Slabbit was free. So good play from Albury Wodonga. Everyone was quite tight around the disc then, but Slabbit noticed that and moved backwards and made really good space.
Let's go, Colossus!
And a really nice kind of a nice put up from Albury Wodonga as well. Nice throw.
Let's go, Colossus!
Hydration critical for the Albury team, for all teams. Been fortunate enough to be sated by a tropical super boost. Into my first, sure it won't be my last either. Thomas Hine in with the disc. Bold first throw, it comes off. Hine marked by Kramer. Pax. Back to Heine, nice up the line. Heine has power position, throws a nice one to Tony. That one will be too far for everyone. Through with a bit of touch, but needed even more. Tony continuing to be really aggressive into that deep space. Already has 2 goals to her name. One of those a critical upwinder. And so this time, Albury Wodonga lining up out of a horror. Watch for Kramer on this near side. Here's the first cut. He goes. He's going to angle out now. Create that space for the deep.
A little bit of stress on the sideline. There we go.
Another high count. They stay patient. They work it through. Someone's lost a hat. They're going to keep playing through it. It's what you were talking about, some of this fatigue, Daisy. Cut's starting to dry up. Things starting to get a little bit harder as the legs get heavier and the heat gets higher. Kramer. This is Michael. He's pointing.
Nice grab.
Throws the break. That's good.
Ooh,
Jared Pearce.
just a bit too much on that.
You get the turn, and this one will be another one that's too far. Hey boys, this is your time cap, yeah? Boss! Time cap. 70 minutes now, this is your time cap.
Leany picking up the disc.
So time cap has just gone, so we're going to add one to the highest score and play to that.
So first to 10.
Pearce. Who's it back?
Ooh.
And that's Kramer. Had 9/10 of it. He's dirty on himself for it too. Thomas Hine. He put the last one too much on it, but this time he's got an easy reset to Pax. Had to get up for it. Jumped out of those golf mitts that he's got. You glove player?
No, I haven't played with
No,
gloves.
sans gloves.
Have you played with gloves?
I have. Didn't help.
Does it? Oh, okay.
No, didn't help me. So we see a long shot on. Calls him under, nice and patient. Heine jumped in the lane, which left Kramer open.
Good
and now
grab.
they've thrown that gainer. Really wanting that up the line. As we see.
No. Defense from Colossus.
Colossus boldly opting for the run and gun here, even though they've still got about 4 players back behind the disc. So they need to work hard, cycle forward. Like you said, it's a thankless task. But they've got to do it, open more space underneath for their teammates.
Yeah, the last few they've just thrown it away, so they've decided to just take a second and pass it around a little bit more before looking long.
Yeah, and it's the right call. And the stack now helped by that undercut. They were way too deep. Pax, I think he was the man that lost his hat. To Ridge.
Ridge has done a lot of running and
Airy.
oh, good grab.
Just to Yo. Yo needs to engage his dump. Does.
The wind is just changing a bit too.
Great.
So the players
throw
are
from
adapting.
Pax. And here's the angled sidearm.
Oh, just, it was only a metre from that, but it really dropped at the end.
And that's just where the patience can get to you a bit. The pressure. They've been so patient through the rest of that point, but often it's that last shot into the end zone that brings them undone, and we're going to see a timeout. So there'll be a timeout called. Now, time cap's gone, so for anyone new to it, we're going to play this point and add one to the highest score. So if Albury Wodonga score, it'll be game to 11. If Hoss score, it'll be 9-8, game to 10.
Oh, sorry, yes, I said to 10 before. Incorrect.
It's all right,
Thanks for that, Moz.
Yeah, no, it's okay. So it's not a timeout because time cap's gone. So all right. So there was no timeout. There's no injury. Ryan Leany with the disc. You'd want to take away that inside flick from him, make him throw around. Leany goes outside. Nice. Safe one. That's Thomas O'Farrell getting it to Kramer. Kramer wants Pearce. Gets him up the line. Ridge came off, but it was a strip. Ridge wants to have a chat about it, but to the naked eye, it did look like he had a fair bit of it.
Yeah, very close to call. Let's have a look. Yeah, it looked like a strip.
I think it's going to be an uncontested strip.
It's nice having the replay.
It's lovely, isn't it?
Yeah.
You get to be a real expert. You'll love it. Outside to Kramer. Kramerlini is going to let go with a big backhand. This could be the game right here. It might have a bit too much. Fantastic grab, keeps it alive. On the end zone line.
Good patience.
Got about 7 people marking.
Good composure. Really nice composure there. Oh, that was exciting. Well done, Aubrey Wodonga. It's so easy to throw it away when you get it on the end of the end zone.
Especially when you've taken a nice big layout grab.
Exactly. That was, and both of them running at it, kind of didn't know who was going to grab it.
Yep. Nice patience. You've got to say good swarm defense from Colossus as well, but Aubrey Wodonga able to absorb it, pass it around. As you said, conserve that exuberance.
Yeah, it's not clear now. Look, yeah, who was going to grab that one? Really nice catch.
So long as one of them did. You either want both of them to go or just one of them, but certainly not for them to look at each other.
Oh.
It's down low. Well done. Especially late in the game. Starting to feel those legs now. A lot of people around the disc. Leany got it back. Easy, flat flick for the goal, and that's huge. That'll take us now to game points. So if Aubrey Wodonga score, they win the game. It's a game to 11. Colossus are going to have to reel off 4 in a row. It's a pretty big ask, but it's been done before.
Especially upwind. Now Aubrey Wodonga have the downwind point. So you'd assume that they'd just take advantage of that, but it could go either way.
So the pressure all on Colossus now. They need to start with a big ask, which is the upwinder. They'll need to put 2 of them in. Aubrey Wodonga.
That's very nice.
Nice deep pull. Running down. Heads of State will get the first pass off, but that'll be about it. They get 2, and Aubrey Wodonga are set. This one pops up a little bit. Aubrey Wodonga got the set. They have one bite at it. They go too early.
Great
Heads of
read.
State get a second chance. Wine. Low to Nick Netcher. Shout out to his kids watching at home. Back to Hine. And Aubrey Wodonga have switched now. They've gone from zone to a match, so this is going to leave players out for Colossus if they can spring the trap. Ridge is one of them. Not opted for. They go to Netcher instead. Netcher, good field position, looks back to Hine. Hine can use the width.
Oh, well done.
And a huge grab, great turn.
Oh.
An injury call. Could be a foul call, actually.
It seemed like Aubrey Wodonga were pushing under that point.
So definitely contact. I think the discussion will be whether the contact was after the disc was intercepted. It would still be a foul, but the players are allowed to have a chat and I guess respectfully ask one another if it affected the play.
Yeah, it's hard to tell with so many at the disc who contacted
And there was
first. Yeah.
Also contact probably from his teammate as well.
But,
And it is hard when you're going up in the heat of the moment that don't necessarily know. You know you've been collected or been contacted, but you don't know who it's from. So
yep.
That's where you really do rely on your teammates. But in this case, they've said it's probably too close to call. They're going to go back to Heine who threw that hospital pass. I think it was low in the count, but we'll see. 4. Probably want to hit Netcher in the dump. He does.
Ridge again.
Nice break. Etcher has Hine back.
Oh, good grab. Oh,
Bobbles
no,
out.
dropped.
No, it's out.
Thought he got that.
So Albury Wodonga have a
They're
chance
gonna
to win the
look
game.
long. Oh.
Leany, Netcher knew straight away. He saw Leany going to the disc. Instantly started folding back to protect the deep space.
And they're so close to the end, it's just tempting to go long.
Yep.
Look for that long shot. And
Finish
it does
it in
make sense
one.
with the win that way. But now you've got to put in all the effort on the defense again. I wonder if looks like they're doing a zone, Aubrey Wodonga.
They are.
Yeah, they're Arrowhead again.
They are, and then just also there's going to be an injury sub. So I think one of the Colossus players taking the injury. So Boland's going to be coming on into the deep. Behind with the disc, as you said, Aubrey Wodonga looking like they are picking up more of a space than a player, which suggests zone. Ridge has come deep. Hiney doesn't want him.
Oh.
Cold drop.
Oh, no.
Spin it before he had it. Aubrey Wodonga one throw away from taking game 2. Gets a little bit of shake and bake.
Oh, well done, Aubrey Wodonga.
And one of the best players of the game, Ryan Leany, finishes it off with a goal.
That was a really well contested match, both sides. And then Aubrey Wodonga just capitalised at the end then, yeah.
Yeah, you'd say that break just prior to half, the upwinder
Yeah.
going into half, gave him, took it from a one upwinder game into a couple.
Yep.
So thoroughly deserving. Aubrey Wodonga used all their players, played exciting frizz, chance their hands sometimes, but you make your own luck. As we see Leany with the final goal. Thank you very much. We'll be back in the next time slot, not far away. On behalf of Daisy, myself, and the entire Ultimate TV team, I'd like to say thank you very much, and we'll catch you for the next game.
ULTI.TV.